Hello, Jawas. Okay, this is the video where things start to come together. Basically, we're going to marry the base mask assembly that we did in the last video with the electronics assembly that we completed earlier. Here are the parts, just the completed mask, electronics assembly without the fans, because we've already attached those to the mask. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do, and I've already done it here, is we're going to fix the straps over the top of the mask just to get them out of the way a little bit. And then we are going to grab the electronics assembly by the speaker and feed everything through this hole in the faceplate. Then we can attach the speaker, drop the speaker into place, and I'm going to then zip tie this into position using these appropriate holes. Right, so that's the speaker secured. Now the rest of this really happens inside the mask, so let's turn this over and get started. So the first thing we're going to do here is push each of the LEDs through these holes. You can see the LED poking out the front, and we're going to carefully bend the wires down flat. So for both of the eyes, push them through the hole in the mask, bend this down flat. Now this is just a little messy because we've got a lot of wires flying around here. Now, if you're not careful, these LEDs are going to bleed light through the back of them and light your face. And we really do not want your face lit. So I'm going to put a piece of the gaffers tape that we used previously on these fans to cover up these LEDs on the inside. And that'll also help hold the LEDs in place a little bit if they're a little bit loose. Now, the next step is to secure the main board in position here just above the speaker. Now, you can do this a couple of ways, including a couple of cutting new holes in the Jawa face, using a zip tie to secure it. But one of the easiest ways to do it, I think, is to use mounting tape. So this is mounting tape. This is basically a heavy-duty double-sided tape that you can use to stick things together. So we are going to cut an appropriately sized piece for the back of our mounting plate, for the back of our main board, that is. Stick it on. All right, peel off the backing, and then basically just push it into position. Stick it down. All right, so that leaves two things. The fan connector, which is easy. Plug this back in, and we'll tuck that away in a minute. Okay, you noticed at the end of that last little segment, I had accidentally pulled free one of the LED wires. That's actually kind of a nuisance to fix at this stage because you've got to really kind of pry this up to see what you're doing. I have spared you the details of that because I figure it's not all that educational to watch me struggle getting a wire into a screw terminal, but that's done now, I'm going to double check and make sure that I've got everything secure by plugging this in, turning it on, making sure the lights are working. They are. So now I will unplug this and go ahead and rig the rest of this. I've plugged in the fan wires, and I am going to secure this switch. And normally I like to secure the switch here about around the cheek so it's relatively easy to find. That is, by the way, one of the reasons why we use a white switch too, so that you can actually see it against all this black in here. So I'm just going to tape the wires on the inside of this and then get another narrow piece of tape for the wires on the outside. And I don't really want to wrap this wire around the edge of the mask, so I'm going to tear this tape a little bit. So that this stays secure, but then this, I will loop through that and then plug it into our battery. The switch is still on, so we've got lights and everything is secure. I'm going to put another little couple of pieces of tape in here to get these wires under control, so that hopefully I don't pull out any wires again. But that is our assembled and functional mask, ready for finishing. Couple more notes before we actually get to putting fabric and installing the eyes on this mask. This silver on the speaker might shine through our fabric, so I'm going to put a little bit of black paint on that, and I will probably do another coat here. So do this, you could have done this ahead of time. You could have done this, as soon as you unbox the speaker. But just a little bit of black acrylic on this will help knock down the shine. And you might also do that with, say, the back side of your receiver board and even the control knob on your volume control, just to, keep everything as dark in here as possible. Really, we're going to put fabric over this, but the only thing that you want people to see are your eyes. Now, one more note with respect to light and visibility. There's always a trade-off in any of these masks with how much vision you have versus how much light gets in that might possibly light up your eyes and let people see your real face. If you like, you can always use the gaffer's tape to actually constrain your vision a little bit more and then let a little less light in. You can do this on both sides. You'd want to put some on the back so you just don't have sticky stuff there. I generally think this is okay. Mask is okay like this, but make your own decisions about what you want your visibility to be like.